Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Young and the Restless channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit like for more daily drama updates and spoilers. Your support truly means a lot and helps our channel grow every day. Now let's jump straight into today's exciting update. The latest The Young and the Restless spoilers set the stage for a dangerous new chapter, one that could change Kyle Abbott's future forever. Fueled by heartbreak, rage, and a desperate need for justice, Kyle has made a decision that may ultimately become the biggest mistake of his life. In a stunning moment during Wednesday's July 15th episode, he walked directly to Patty Williams' jail cell with unwavering determination burning in his eyes. There was no hesitation in his voice as he made his intentions crystal clear, boldly declaring that Patty was going to provide him with the information he needed to finally destroy Victor Newman. It was an explosive confrontation that immediately raised the stakes because anyone who knows Patty understands that making a deal with her is never simple, never safe, and almost always comes with devastating consequences. Kyle's determination did not appear overnight. It has been built through years of pain, trauma, and emotional scars that have never truly healed. He still carries the haunting memories of watching both of his parents come terrifyingly close to losing their lives because of Patty's violent actions. Those horrifying moments remain etched into his mind, refusing to fade no matter how much time has passed. Even more unforgettable was the terrifying ordeal when his mother, Diane Abbott, became trapped in Dr. Lawrence Markham's home, forcing Kyle into a desperate mission to help rescue her from captivity. Those experiences forever changed him, leaving behind wounds that continue to shape every decision he makes. Now, all of that bottled up fear and anger has been redirected toward one man in particular, Victor Newman. In Kyle's eyes, Victor is the true architect of everything that has gone wrong for the Abbott family in recent months. He believes Victor's decision to bring Patty back to Genoa City unleashed a nightmare that should never have happened. The consequences were catastrophic, culminating in Jack Abbott being stabbed and the Abbott family once again finding themselves fighting to survive a crisis they never asked for. Every painful memory has strengthened Kyle's conviction that Victor must finally face the consequences of his actions. What makes his anger even more intense is Victor's complete lack of remorse. Rather than expressing guilt or accepting responsibility, Victor has carried himself with the same confidence and arrogance that have always defined him, leaving Kyle feeling as though justice will never come unless someone forces it to happen. That simmering hostility reached another boiling point during Tuesday's July 14th episode when Kyle came face to face with Victor himself. Instead of acknowledging the destruction left in his wake, Victor casually brushed the entire situation aside, dismissing Kyle's accusations as though they were meaningless. Even worse, Victor fired warning shots of his own, making it clear that he had no intention of backing down or being intimidated by Jack's son. For Kyle, the confrontation only reinforced his belief that Victor considers himself untouchable. Rather than discouraging him, Victor's confidence fueled Kyle's determination even further. Deep inside, Kyle has become convinced that he will be the Abbott who finally succeeds where so many others have failed. He wants to be remembered as the one who finally brought down the legendary Victor Newman, but that dream may already be leading him straight into disaster. Unfortunately, Kyle's quest for revenge has pushed him toward an alliance that almost guarantees heartbreak. Patty Williams is one of Genoa City's most unpredictable and dangerous individuals, a woman whose unstable mind has left a trail of destruction for years. Aligning himself with someone as volatile as Patty is an enormous gamble, no matter how noble his intentions may seem. While Patty flashed a wide grin at the idea of joining forces with Kyle against Victor, her excitement only served as another warning sign. Patty rarely does anything out of kindness or loyalty, and every favor she offers comes with hidden strings attached. If Kyle believes she will simply hand over valuable information without demanding something significant in return, he may be dangerously underestimating just how manipulative she can be. That immediately raises an even more troubling question about what Patty might ask for in exchange. Could Kyle find himself negotiating a deal that would transfer Patty from prison to a mental health facility instead of leaving her behind bars? Or could the situation become even more reckless, forcing Kyle into helping Patty escape jail altogether? Either possibility would ignite absolute outrage within the Abbott family. Diane and Jack would be horrified to discover that Kyle had willingly entered into any arrangement that could potentially set Patty free after everything she has already put them through. The emotional betrayal would be almost impossible for them to forgive, especially considering the unimaginable suffering Patty has already caused their family. If Kyle continues down this dangerous path, he may soon find himself losing the trust of the very people he is trying so desperately to protect. Even if Kyle somehow convinces himself that such a bargain is worth the risk, another terrifying possibility still looms over everything. Patty could easily manipulate him into believing they are equal partners with a shared mission, only to betray him the moment it serves her interest. dangerous. Deception has always been one of Patty's greatest weapons, and Kyle's emotional desperation could make him the perfect target. The more convinced he becomes that Patty is helping him, the more vulnerable he may become to her twisted games. She has repeatedly demonstrated that loyalty means very little to her when chaos offers a more satisfying reward. If Kyle lowers his guard for even a moment, he could discover far too late that he was never her partner at all, only her next victim. Adding another unsettling layer to the situation is Patty's complicated history with Victor himself. This latest arrangement is far from the first connection between the two of them, as Patty has worked alongside Victor before. Despite all the conflict now surrounding them, Victor has consistently treated Patty with a level of kindness and friendship that few others ever have. That history raises serious doubts about whether Patty would truly betray a wealthy, influential, and powerful man who has repeatedly shown her favor over the years. Kyle may believe he has convinced Patty to switch sides, but appearances can be dangerously deceiving where she is concerned. Her loyalties have always shifted without warning, and predicting her next move has proven nearly impossible for anyone who has crossed her path. Of course, perhaps the greatest danger has nothing to do with secrets, betrayals, or shifting alliances. Patty's violent history speaks for itself, and it serves as a chilling reminder of exactly what she is capable of when her emotions spiral out of control. Over the years, she has built a terrifying list of victims, leaving behind people she has either succeeded in killing or attempted to eliminate without hesitation. Her willingness to resort to deadly violence has never disappeared, making every interaction with her an enormous risk. If Kyle believes he can outsmart someone with Patty's unpredictable instincts, he could be making a fatal miscalculation. Should he become inconvenient or disappoint her in any way, there is every reason to fear that his name could be added to the long list of people who underestimated just how dangerous Patty Williams truly is. As this explosive storyline continues to unfold, one thing seems increasingly certain. Kyle Abbott's impulsive decision to partner with Patty Williams is setting him on a collision course with consequences he cannot yet imagine. Whether Patty manipulates him, betrays him, drags him into an unforgivable bargain, or places his very life in jeopardy, every possible outcome points toward heartbreak rather than victory. His burning desire to destroy Victor Newman may have clouded his judgment, pushing him into an alliance built on desperation instead of wisdom. In the end, revenge often comes with a devastating price, and Kyle may soon discover that chasing justice through the wrong partner can cost far more than he ever expected. The Young and the Restless spoilers strongly suggest that no matter how this dangerous gamble unfolds, Kyle's reckless partnership with Patty will leave him deeply regretting the choice he made, and viewers are left wondering just how devastating the fallout will be when the dust finally settles. As the dust begins to settle from Kyle Abbott's shocking decision, the emotional weight of what he has set in motion becomes even more unsettling. What initially appeared to be a bold move against Victor Newman is starting to resemble the opening chapter of a nightmare that could consume Kyle from every direction. His anger has become so overwhelming that it is blinding him to the danger standing directly in front of him. Every step he takes toward Patty Williams feels less like a calculated strategy and more like a desperate gamble fueled by grief, frustration, and a thirst for revenge. While Kyle believes he is carefully moving the pieces across the chessboard, Patty has spent years proving that she never plays by anyone else's rules. In her world, alliances are temporary, trust is an illusion, and chaos is often the only outcome. For Kyle, the temptation to finally expose Victor is simply too powerful to ignore. Ever since Victor orchestrated Patty's return to Genoa City, Kyle has watched his family's life unravel piece by painful piece. Jack Abbott's brutal stabbing, Diane Abbott's terrifying kidnapping ordeal, and the endless emotional scars left behind have convinced him that Victor must finally answer for the destruction he has caused. Every confrontation with Victor only strengthens that belief, especially after Victor dismissed Kyle's outrage with little more than his trademark confidence and carefully disguised threats. To Kyle, Victor's refusal to accept responsibility feels almost like an insult to everyone who suffered because of his choices. That growing resentment has transformed into an obsession, one powerful enough to push him toward a partnership that almost everyone else would recognize as incredibly dangerous. Yet Patty remains the biggest unknown in this increasingly explosive equation. Her smile when Kyle approached her may have looked encouraging on the surface, but with Patty, appearances have always been dangerously deceptive. She has never been motivated by simple loyalty or generosity. Every relationship she forms is built around her own unpredictable desires, and every agreement carries hidden conditions that rarely become clear until it is too late. Kyle may believe he is the one controlling the conversation, but Patty has spent years manipulating people far more experienced than him. If she senses even the slightest opportunity to advance her own interests, there is little doubt she will seize it without hesitation, regardless of the consequences for Kyle or anyone else caught in the crossfire. That possibility makes every potential bargain between them feel increasingly alarming. If Patty demands something extraordinary in exchange for her cooperation, Kyle could find himself crossing moral lines he never imagined he would approach. Helping Patty secure a transfer to a psychiatric facility instead of remaining behind bars would already be controversial enough, but assisting in a full-scale escape would be an entirely different level of betrayal. Such a decision would almost certainly devastate Jack and Diane, who have already endured more pain because of Patty than anyone should ever have to experience. They trusted Kyle to protect the family, not to reopen old wounds by giving one of their greatest tormentors another opportunity to walk free. The emotional fallout inside the Abbott family could become every bit as devastating as the battle Kyle hopes to wage against Victor. Even if Kyle manages to satisfy Patty's demands, there is absolutely no guarantee she will honor her side of the arrangement. In fact, Patty's long and unpredictable history suggests the exact opposite. She could easily feed Kyle just enough information to gain his confidence before abruptly abandoning him when it benefits her most. Worse still, she could deliberately manipulate him into taking actions that expose him to legal trouble while keeping her own hands clean. By the time Kyle realizes he has been used, the damage may already be irreversible. His determination to defeat Victor could leave him isolated, distrusted by his family, and trapped inside a crisis entirely of his own making. There is also another unsettling reality Kyle cannot afford to ignore. Patty's relationship with Victor stretches back much further than this latest conflict, and history has shown that she has often viewed Victor as one of the few people who treated her with genuine compassion. That complicated connection cannot simply be erased because Kyle asked her to switch sides. When forced to choose between a lifelong ally with immense power and influence and an emotionally driven young man seeking revenge, Patty's decision may not be nearly as obvious as Kyle believes. She could ultimately decide that remaining loyal to Victor serves her interests far better than helping Kyle destroy him. If that happens, Kyle may unknowingly hand Victor valuable information about the Abbott family's plans while believing he is moving closer to victory. Perhaps the darkest possibility of all lies in Patty's long history of violence. Her past is filled with terrifying acts that remind everyone in Genoa City just how quickly she can shift from calm conversation to deadly action. Time and again, she has demonstrated that human life means very little when her emotions spiral beyond her control. Her list of victims and those who narrowly escape becoming victims continues to haunt the people who know her best. Kyle is entering dangerous territory by placing himself so close to someone capable of such unpredictable behavior. If Patty suddenly decides that Kyle has become an obstacle rather than an ally, the consequences could be far more severe than simply losing Victor's trail. As this gripping storyline moves forward, the suspense continues to build with every passing moment. Kyle believes he is finally taking control of a situation that has haunted his family for far too long, but every indication suggests he may actually be surrendering control to the most dangerous person imaginable. His determination to bring Victor Newman down is understandable, especially after everything the Abbott family has endured, but revenge rarely follows the path people expect. Instead, it often creates new tragedies while reopening old wounds that never truly healed. With Patty Williams now standing at the center of Kyle's risky plan, the line between justice and disaster has become dangerously thin. The Young and the Restless spoilers continue to hint that Kyle's impulsive alliance is destined to end in regret, leaving viewers anxiously wondering whether he can escape Patty's web before everything he loves is placed in even greater jeopardy.